Welcome into week 4 of the LL Football Update Show, sponsored by Kegel's Produce. He is Jeff Reinhart. I'm John Walk. We're out here in New Holland. You guys probably all know this tower. We're at Garden Spot.
Oh, yes.
The Spartans are practicing behind us. We'll get to them in a little bit. They've gotten off to an 0-3 start, but they seem to be on the edge.
Turning the corner.
Cracking turning the corner there, getting over the hump and cracking that losing streak there. But we'll get to that in a few minutes because, as always, we like to go over previous week's top news and notables out of what was week 3 action. Hit us with that.
Yes, week 3. Off the top, we must start with Warwick. Wow, what a win for the Warriors last week. How cool was that? With the atmosphere over there, it was great. Warwick beats Manheim Central 37-7. Couple of streaks. Central loses its 27-game regular season unbeaten streak dating back to 2016, and Warwick beats Central for the first time since 1983. I was in middle school.
I wasn't even born yet.
I was in 8th grade. Wow,
right.
14-0. Warwick won that game. 23 games in a row, Central had beaten Warwick. So tip of the cap, Warwick. Fantastic performance all the way around. They were terrific. Anxious to see what happens in that unbelievable Section 1 race with Township and Wilson, and Cedar Crest also, by the way, is 3-0. So a lot of good things cooking here as Section 1 gets started this week. Warwick, great job with Manheim last week in Ledditz. Secondly, 2 kickers with game winners last week. Love the kickers. Jack Beasley, Cedar Crest. It's up, it's good, 38-yarder. Crest beats York 17-14 with 50 seconds to go. York led that game 14-0 early. Crest comes all the way back, ties it. Jack Beasley hits from 38. Cedar Crest wins, beats the Bearcats. Crest goes to 3-0. Jackson Wright, Manheim Township, 27-yarder, minute 9 left. Good. Manheim Township beats Central Dauphin 10-7. How about a slugfest there? A couple of District 3 6A heavyweights, rematch of last year's district game. CD led that game like the whole way, 7-0. Township comes back, ties it. Jackson Wright hits from 27 with a minute left, and Township wins. They go to 3-0. Last thing, 2 cool shutouts last week. 2 shutouts. Lebanon beats Pequea Valley 45-0. Cedars did have a shutout last year, but they're kind of not known for their defense always. They got the air raid and all the yards, but the Cedars pitch a shutout last week. They beat Pequea Valley 45-0. Octorara shuts out Northern Lebanon 35-0. First shutout for the Braves since
2011?
2011. They beat Pequea Valley 33-0. Just the second shutout in program history. Octorara didn't start playing football until 2009. So congrats to the Braves, defense especially, pitching the shutout against the Vikes, 35-0. First shutout in, 8-9 years. That's impressive. That's all I have for week 3. Anxious for week 4, and it's good to be out here at Garden Spot.
All right, now it's on to week 4 action. We're going to hit some of the top games. Manheim Central Wilson's coming up. There's 2 first place games in Section 3. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about Garden Spot for a little bit. As we know, 0-10 last year. Coach Matt Zamperini returns for the second time. Wants to restore some pride into this program. And so far, they're 0-3, but 2 of those losses were pretty close. 20-14 in week 1 lost at Daniel Boone. And then last Friday, 34-20 loss, back and forth game at Palmyra. They end up losing that one, but they seem to be on that crest of possibly ending this losing streak, which, by the way, is now at 17 games. And Spartans starting 3 of their first 4 games are on the road, so it's tough slate to go there. So they're at Solanco, they are at Solanco this coming Friday. The Mules are 2-1. With that being said, we stopped out here at practice. LNP video reporter Danielle Zilkowski caught up with a couple Garden Spot players and head coach Matt Zamperini, so we'll throw to Danielle for those interviews.
Walk me through the decision to come back and coach Garden Spot.
There was a job opening. There were a bunch of kids who I appreciate and like and have been around for a while. They needed someone to bring football back to them here and someone to help do that, and I knew I could do that, so it was kind of an obvious decision.
So what have you guys been doing these first couple of weeks to improve?
Well, we've been really talking about the 4 principles to being 1-0 for the season. We try to be 1-0 on every play. It's all about our effort, and we got our alignment, our assignment, adjustment, and execution. Going back to the basics, trying to get things clicking for next week.
You guys have had 2 close losses the past 2 weeks. What does it feel like to be that close to cracking this losing streak?
I mean, we don't really focus on, obviously when we come in, we don't focus on like the streak, what we have. It is something that we all know we have. It's something that we've known, and I've known for a long time now being a senior. But we just focus on every game. We go into every game like it's a regular game. Like, we just got to play. We got to focus. Like I said, we don't really focus on it. We just focus on the task at hand, game by game.
How has the transition to having a new coach gone for you and gone for the team?
I mean, for me personally, it's gone really well. I like Z. I liked Fulmer a lot, but like having Z, it's just kind of like that extra element that like you just look at Z and you think football. And like I know for a lot of the guys, like I said, for me it was a great transition. All the guys seem to love him. We all love Z. He's like a father figure to us. We look up to him. We learn so much about him, and he teaches so much more other than football, like life and stuff, and how to apply that.
What kind of challenges does Solanco give you this coming week?
They run the ball very well, and they're a deceptive for your team, and you gotta keep plugging away. You got to be consistent, play responsibility football. One play if you're out of position, they can hurt you. So it's we got to be very disciplined defensively, and we got to move the ball offensively.
Okay, Danielle, thanks a lot for those interviews. Again, good to be down here at Garden Spot. Good luck to the Spartans. We'll see if they can finally get rid of this 17-game losing streak. They'll have Solanco on Friday. Okay, speaking of Friday, a couple of really big Section 3 games. Donegal plays Lebanon. Lancaster Catholic plays Ephrata in first place showdowns. Preview those, please.
That's right. And by the way, Ephrata quarterback Caden Kiefer was our LNP Week 3 Football Player of the Week, sponsored by Kegel's Produce. So thanks to Caden for chatting with us earlier this week. With that said, Caden's coming off a big performance. And Ephrata, by the way, they're now 2-1 overall after their best 3-game start since 2010.
Wow.
And yeah, they're going up against a Catholic squad, the defending section champs, who, by the way, after the Manheim Central loss, the Crusaders now own the league's longest current winning streak, which is what, it's 13 games? 13
regular season.
Unbeaten in the regular season, so that's going to be a big game, obviously. And then Donegal 2-1 overall, traveling to Lebanon 2-1 overall. Winner of that stays in a first place tie for Section 3. So we'll be obviously covering both of those games. Jeff's going to be covering the Ephrata Lancaster Catholic matchup. One more game that we wanted to mention, and I know, by the way, LL section play starts for sections 1 and 2 this week, but the one crossover game, Manheim Central traveling to Wilson. Talked about earlier, Barron's coming off a big loss and trying to get the ship righted here, and now gets a powerhouse Bulldog squad.
Yeah.
Tell us about that one.
Yeah, Wilson's playing great. 3-0. This one surprised me. Wilson's 3-0 for the first time since 2013. It's been a while. You would think they've had 3-0 starts.
They have really tough.
But they play a great
games,
schedule.
Yeah.
They play like a Central Dolphin, or they run into Mifflin. So anyway, 3-0. Central coming off that loss. First time since 2016 that they lost a regular season game. Wow. Wilson leads this series 6-4. Last year, we were over at that last year over in Manheim. Bulldogs jump up 10-0. Central comes roaring all the way back and wins 20-10 on their way to great things. So I have a feeling Wilson wants a little payback here, you think? At home, knowing Central's coming off a loss, knowing what happened last year. Keep an eye on Caleb Brown, quarterback for Wilson. Debut season for Mr. Brown. He's been great. Had 100 rushing and 100 passing last week against Springford. Wilson's just playing really good. Their defense has been good. Gave up some chunk plays last week against Springford, which goes up top. They had 400 passing yards, but Wilson still scored 40 plus. Their defense has been good. Wow. Barron's Bulldogs should be fun in West Lawn. Circle that one. First of the LL mandated crossover games for the rest of the year. Township Calico next week.
Right, yeah.
That'll be fun.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that one
Tuesday.
too. But for now, enjoy Manheim Central at Wilson. Should be fun over in West Lawn.
All right, week 4 coming up, 12 games this Friday. LNP will be covering all 12 games. Make sure to check the scoreboard on LancasterOnline.com's homepage on Friday night to stay up to speed on the scores. I'll be updating that. You'll be covering the Catholic Ephrata game.
Yep.
And either check that or pick up a copy of Saturday morning's LNP newspaper and turn to the sports page. All right, for Garden Spot, just want to say thanks to the Spartans for having us out. Thanks to Danielle for the interviews. He's Jeff Reinhart. I'm John Walk. We'll catch you guys next week.